their best. It's Wednesday here on The Story, and tonight, Multnomah County's Preschool for All program appears to be off the chopping block. The bill in Salem that would have killed it has zero chance of moving forward. Plus, fireworks in our nation's capital as Northwest senators spar with Attorney General Pam Bondi. We'll bring you some of that contentious back and forth. But first, a new homeless drop-in day center is opening in Portland's St. John's neighborhood. What surprised me today after talking with neighbors there? It's our big story tonight.
Good morning, everyone. Oh, thank you.
Early Wednesday.
Can everyone hear okay? Okay, I know we've got the bus and everything, I think that shows that this is such a good location. It is a busy, active corner.
The latest applause rang out for a new Multnomah County-run center for homeless people.
Every opening that we do adds critical capacity to our homelessness response system.
This time in North Portland's St. John's neighborhood off Lombard Street.
This center meets a great need for North Portland for many who are unsheltered.
This former Subway turned county health center will soon be a low-barrier daytime drop-in site for those on the streets.
Whether someone's been homeless for 2 or 3 or more years.
Probably a good 3 years, came back from Texas.
You can shower, you can get food, you can get case management. Anthony likes what he hears about the new spot.
Nice. So it's for the homeless? Yeah, I definitely think that'd be a good thing. I mean, there's a lot of people walking around here, so.
The site is set to open in a few weeks. No concrete date was given.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely would. You should see me there in July.
Officials hope to help about 5,000 people just like Anthony. Open 9 to 5, Monday through Friday, offering food, a mailing address, and case management.
And by having case management at this center linked to housing, this center will help people end their homelessness for good.
I have sort of mixed thoughts, as I think a lot of people in this community do.
A block away, Ezra Holbrook opened this neighborhood bar 2 years ago.
First year was rough. I mean, if there's wood, I would knock on it. I don't know how much worse it could get, to be honest with you. I mean, I've been jumped on the street walking to my car last year. We've had a lot of crime. We've been broken into multiple times.
The fear of adding a homeless drop-in center to the neighborhood, he says, has lessened, thanks to, of all things, county outreach.
And they've actually come over and introduced themselves. They brought their phone number over here. I was surprised, to be honest with you.
I think it's good that people can get help when they need it.
Nathan Rhodes manages a nearby auto shop and shares a similar bit of optimism.
We have had some drug use in the area around our building, so hopefully that will eliminate some of that. But yeah, I could see, somebody that's not quite right in their mind may have some trouble and it might cause some issues in the area. But I think overall the good outweighs the bad.
Once this center opens, we'll continue to work with the neighborhood to make sure that it is successful and it's an asset not just for the folks who visit, but for this community as a whole.
It's easy to get out if you have stuff like that, stuff to actually organize you, get you in a good place.
So again, the center opens next month, and it'll be Multnomah County's 7th day center for homeless people. And here's how they're going to pay for it, or you are paying for it, I should say. The county is using over $3 million of unanticipated supportive housing services tax dollars. The county board approved that back in September 2023. And I will add, everyone I talked with today was saying how services like this are needed in St. John's. But I got to thinking, just 3 miles away is the former Rite Aid that Multnomah County bought and then turned into a homeless shelter. It's also on North Lombard Street. Then 7 minutes away on North Portland Road is a large city-run tiny home village, and 6 minutes away is another city-run tiny home village along the Peninsula Crossing Trail, although that one recently closed to make room for affordable housing. But all that to say, there are existing homeless services in St. John's. This drop-in center just adds to them. Now, a spokesperson for Mayor Keith Wilson tells me while the city of Portland is not directly involved in the development of the new county day center in St. John's, Mayor Wilson strongly believes day centers are a critical component of addressing homelessness and connecting individuals with resources and services across our city. Now, remember, the mayor's plan is to open a series of day centers and 1,500 shelter beds by the end of this year. Okay, now it's your turn to weigh in. We're especially interested in hearing from those of you in and around St. John's. So what do you think about this new effort? Email us at thestory@kgw.com or call and leave a voicemail 503-226-5090. Well, now to a controversial amendment to a bill in Salem that would end Multnomah County's Preschool for All program by 2027. A source in Salem tells me that the bill is not moving forward this session, meaning that the program is safe for now. John Adams joins us tonight after hearing from parents who came out to support the program today. John, what do they have to say?
Well, Blair, the parents I spoke with today say the program has been overwhelmingly positive for their families, and they question the decision by some lawmakers to move to end the program at the end of this legislative session.
I don't think this is how you want to treat some of the more vulnerable parts of our society. Like, we can do better, and we need to do better. The program's been so transformational for my family that I wanted to come out here and make sure my voice was heard advocating for it.
So, John, did any of the parents there today address the governor's concern about the tax that funds the program pushing high earners out of the county?
Well, Blair, this is kind of interesting. I did speak with an economist from Portland State University that was there speaking at the rally, and she questioned the governor's statistics in this, that more high-income earners were actually moving out of Multnomah County. She told me that that's not what she had seen in the data. But I did also speak with County Commissioner Megan Moyer today, who reiterated what she told you yesterday, where now is not the time to cut taxes to high-income earners here in the county at the expense of programs like Preschool for All. Blair?
Okay, John Adams, thanks so much. Now, plenty of you also wrote into us with your thoughts about the program and the tax that funds it. Blythe chimed in saying, please keep working to keep Preschool for All getting better and better because so many kids need this. And how about this one from Megan? The bottom line is that Multnomah County voters passed Preschool for All and funded. Without an egregious breakdown of the program, something akin to the Boy Scouts, there is absolutely no justification to end the program. She went on saying, also commit. Multnomah County and Oregon like to start something and then cancel it before year 5. Having taxpayers contribute and then canceling and consuming that money, our money, happens too often, and taxpayers are tired of it. But we were surprised to hear from many of you who agree with viewers like Ed. He wrote, preschool funding should be means tested and funded by the state. Means tested is another way of saying verifying one's income. Multnomah County commissioners seem in denial about the downsides of taxing the county's affluent at a rate second only to those from Manhattan, while county livability standards are in the toilet, and those same commissioners seem to think everything is just fine. Here's what Cheryl wrote to us saying, not actually verifying income is highway robbery. People who need daycare, because that is what it is, should have to verify their income. The first people to get service should be the people who can't afford to work because of the cost burden. I have to agree that they should shut it down, go with the state program. And we'll end on this from Scott, who is considering moving to Washington in part due to the high taxes we pay as residents of Multnomah County. The combination of high state income and property taxes, along with the Metro Supportive Housing and PFA taxes, Preschool for All tax, as well as upcoming higher utility and parking fees, has made Portland outrageously expensive. Something needs to change, and ending the PFA tax is a good start. Again, the bill and its amendment to end Preschool for All is not moving forward this session. Well, turning now to an update on the transportation funding bill in Salem. The clock is ticking to the end of session on Sunday, and you're looking at the latest version of the bill, amendment number 28. With just 4 days left for this thing to pass, both the House and Senate, the bill will have a public hearing and work session in committee tomorrow afternoon at 3:30. At least that's how it's scheduled right now. Now, in our quick look through the changes, it includes a 12-cent gas tax increase that would start in January. That's a bigger increase up front, but slightly less than the 15-cent increase over the span of several years in the original bill. Now, this updated version does not index that tax to inflation as the original would have done in 2029, a big sticking point for Republicans. The hike to the transit payroll tax remains the same in this version, tripling by 2030. Notably, the so-called transfer tax, basically a sales tax on vehicles, is not in the new version, although the existing privilege tax on vehicle sales will be hiked even higher to compensate. And we'll bring you the highlights from the hearing and its next move, or not, tomorrow night here on The Story. Now, while we're talking transportation, the new Hood River White Salmon Bridge project took another step forward this session, getting $105 million in state funds over the next 6 years, thanks in large part to Representative Jeff Helfrich, who represents the area. That money, on top of $20 million that was earmarked in 2023, completes the state's $125 million match requirement. Now, the entire project is expected to cost around $520 million, with the feds picking up the majority of the tab. Originally built in 1924, the current structure averages about 4 million crossings each year. Now, design on the new bridge is expected to begin in September, with the opening targeted for 2030. So this morning, Metro President Lynn Peterson held her State of the Region speech at the Oregon Zoo. She talked about what we told you last night, that Metro is not moving forward with renewing the Supportive Housing Services tax on the November ballot, admitting the revenue is not meeting expectations.
What we heard from voters is clear. They need to see more results before they are willing to consider extending it. They want accountability and transparency. Metro, the counties, cities, and providers will pursue reforms, and we will deliver them. There are real successes here. There has been hard work and legitimate wins, but that's not what was on the ballot in 2020. Voters did not approve a collection of programs with varying effectiveness. They asked for something that meets the region's most urgent need.
And Peterson said the public no longer trusts the government to get the job done, and that Metro needs to work to regain that trust, especially in light of some big challenges facing the area.
So what's the state of our region? If I'm being diplomatic, I could call it non-ideal. If I'm being frank, it is in critical condition. Since the last State of the Region, we have had a drumbeat of stories about an economic doom loop. We have seen the number of unsheltered homeless rise despite tireless efforts from our counties and cities. Cities and counties and the region face large budget deficits and have made incredibly difficult decisions. Everyone in this room knows we are operating in unfamiliar and frightening territory.
And Peterson also talked about a new plan for the Expo Center in North Portland. Right now, it's not doing much more than local trade shows. This summer on the schedule is a vintage market, a food festival, and a couple of car shows. And there's been a long discussion about how to use it. Today, Peterson talked about turning it into a sports complex, an idea that's been floating around for a while.
We are working on an ambitious plan to convert the Expo Center into something that would be the first of its kind in the nation, a venue for sports tourism visitors. In 2024, sports tourism accounted for $47.1 billion in direct spending nationally, with a total economic impact of $114.4 billion. I'd love to see some of that start flowing our way. It would also be a community facility serving local amateur, professional, and youth athletes, potentially in partnerships with organizations such as the Winterhawks.
The cost of converting the Expo Center is estimated around $300 million. Well, coming up next on The Story, Attorney General Pam Bondi in the hot seat today in D.C., sparring with senators from the Northwest.
I'm not going to talk about anything that's alleged. What I will talk about with you, hold on, you asked me a question and I get to answer it. I'm not going to tell you what I will or will not do.
Okay, we'll bring you some of that heated back and forth that did not stop there when The Story returns. To our nation's capital now, where a hearing was held this morning to question Attorney General Pam Bondi on President Trump's budget request for the Department of Justice in the upcoming fiscal year. At least, that's what the hearing was meant to be about. Instead, the partisan divide in D.C. was on full display. Republicans praising AG Bondi in the DOJ's work since she took over. Democrats, meanwhile, especially those from the Northwest, took the opportunity to ask some pointed questions, and things got a little heated. We'll start with Washington Senator Patty Murray. Listen.
A former DOJ attorney filed a protected whistleblower complaint accusing Deputy AG Emil Bove and senior DOJ leadership of defying court orders, including through, quote, lack of candor, deliberate delay, and disinformation, unquote. The complaint also accuses this administration of firing the whistleblower for, quote, telling the truth to the court. These allegations are deeply concerning. Now, I know you said that you can't discuss the case, but can you confirm that you agree that this administration should follow court orders?
We will follow court orders, Senator. The entire administration will follow court orders. The problem arises in the district courts. All these district courts throughout the country are tying our hands. And here's how we will follow them when we get to the United Supreme Court.
I need to ask
we're
you
winning.
A number of questions.
And so, yes,
I know
we're
you want
following
to
the orders of the court.
Let me ask my questions. Can you confirm you will not allow any conduct like what is alleged to continue at the DOJ?
I'm not going to talk about anything that's alleged. What I will talk about with you, hold on, you asked me a question and I get to answer it. What you asked me, alleged conduct that's part of a pending whistleblower lawsuit that was filed on the eve prior to Emil Bove's hearing today.
I'm not asking
highly
about that
suspicious.
case
Hold on, let me keep going.
Attorney
I would
General
run through a
Bondi,
wall
this
for
is my
Emil
time,
Bove
Mr. Chairman,
and
and I
Todd
would like to
Blanche.
continue with my questions. I have very limited time. Thank you. I just want you to confirm for this you will not allow conduct like that at the DOJ. Yes or no?
I will always support and defend Emil Bove, and I will defend Todd Blanche. They are two of the finest people I know and two of the ethical people I know.
Oregon Senator Jeff Merkley took a different route, asking the AG about President Trump's meme coin dinner just over a month ago at his private country club in Virginia. That's where cryptocurrency investors, many who spent millions on Trump's digital currency, gathered for a gala. The focus of Merkley's questioning was about foreign influence on U.S. policy through the Trump family's cryptocurrency companies. You won't see Senator Merkley right away, but you'll hear his question.
But I think you really are very sensitive to the possibility of foreign agents or foreign influence on our government and making sure that we make sure that doesn't happen?
Yes.
Yes. I want to know if when the president held his dinner for 220 individuals who purchased the most of his meme coins, were there foreign interests attending that dinner?
Senator, we're here to talk about the Department of Justice and my budget for the upcoming year. I would think that you would want to talk about the leader of the Sinaloa cartel who was living in Oregon, one of the top leaders. I would think that that's what you would want to talk about with me. When we captured him, he had $3 million cash in his home.
Attorney General, I know that you avoided the same question on the House side, but what we know is that many folks who attended this dinner were buying those coins because they wanted to influence U.S. policy. We had Mr. Javier Selgas, the head of Freight Technology, Inc., who said, I bought $2 million of these coins. I plan to buy $20 million because I want a favor from the president to change the policy regarding freight from Mexico to the United States. This solicitation of investments in his personal product, his meme coin, led to many people who were coming from foreign countries attending that dinner. Don't you think the American people have a right to know? And you said yourself you're very concerned about foreign influence on our government.
Senator, it is wildly offensive that you would accuse President Trump of not protecting American interest in our country when he is the president that has shut down our borders, unlike Joe Biden. President Trump has done everything to make America safe, and you asked me the question, and keep America safe.
Do you
and
know
you're trying to play a gotcha question at a budget hearing when you have murders left and right in your state, violent crimes, and we are doing everything we can to help your liberal state. Whether you're liberal or not, we're going to do everything we can to help the citizens of your state, and you're trying to avoid that because you're trying to play a gotcha question with the President of the United States, and it's not going to work. We're here to talk about our budget for public safety.
I do believe that as the leader of the Department of Justice, you should be concerned about foreign influence. There was obviously a lot of foreign influence and individuals who said they were there for that reason.
Well, it didn't stop there. The pair went back and forth several more times, basically having different arguments with each other. Senator Merkley on crypto and foreign influence, the AG bringing up several recent arrests of undocumented immigrants on federal drug and firearm charges in Oregon, which she said Merkley should be more focused on. Senator Merkley ended his time with this.
The Attorney General certainly has made the point that she's very concerned about issues that I'm concerned about as well regarding the security of this country. But let the record note that in terms of foreign influence and the sale of foreign influence through the president's coins, she absolutely refuses to respond and instead turns to a whole list of different topics. I think it's important for the leader of the Justice Department of the United States to be very concerned about foreign influence, and I encourage you to take on that topic and not consider it an offense that those of us who are concerned here, Democrats and Republicans, want Americans to make American decisions, not foreign influence being bought through crypto coins.
Okay, well, quite the drama unfolding there in D.C. How do you see it? The partisan divide in D.C. doesn't stop at the Cascades, that is for sure. Let us know what's going through your mind. Email the story at kgw.com or call and leave us a voicemail, 503-226-5090. Keep it there. We're back right after this. Well, a first-of-its-kind academic partnership. That's what the Multnomah County Health Department and the OHSU-PSU School of Public Health are saying about plans to officially join forces. The school is located in the Vanport building on the PSU campus, but will focus more of their efforts in the community, from getting kids vaccinated to dealing with heat waves, drug addiction, and more. Leaders say the partnership is good for everyone.
It's that meshing together of what we research and what we teach and what we do in practice, and that's a huge gain for our students and our faculty.
This collaboration is really a win-win for everyone. It has mutual benefits in teaching, in research, in preparing students for the real-life challenges that they're going to face.
They say some collaboration is already happening, and now there's expected to be even more. Well, that's the end of our show, folks. Thanks so much for watching. The good stuff is coming your way next. And don't forget, everyone has a story to tell. If you ever miss an episode of The Story at 6:30, we re-air it at 8:30 and 10:30 p.m. on our TV app, KGW+. You can also catch us the next morning at 11:30. Download the free app now on Roku, Apple TV, and Fire TV. In the meantime, have a great Wednesday night. I'll see you right back here tomorrow night at 6:30.